What's up, guys? Carolina Jackpot coming at you on Sunday evening. It's time to go over the 30-game docket, the picks against the spread that were done last Wednesday night, and see how Carolina Jackpot did against the spread this week. So just jumping right into this, we know right off the bat that the first three were incorrect. Syracuse drops the game to NC State 16-10, which they scored a late touchdown to pull it within 6, but it really couldn't get going offensively at all. Syracuse is not a very good team, and they looked really bad on Thursday night. I won't be laying any points with them the rest of the season. I don't have any faith in this team going forward until I see something that gives me reason to. Friday night, Virginia drops the game to Miami, Florida, 17-9. I mean, just really disappointing. Really, really disappointing there. Virginia was ranked number 20th coming into that, and they fall out of the poll. I mean, just bad. Not a good Miami team, but they got a good win here when they needed to. Played well enough defensively. Bryce Perkins ran all over the field. They racked up a ton of yards. Thing is, they just couldn't get it in the end zone. Miami wins. Virginia doesn't cover that. And Colorado at Oregon, man, what a beatdown, 45-3. Oregon beats up on the Colorado Buffaloes. I didn't see that one coming. No offense whatsoever from Colorado. Oregon's defense looked really good in this game, more so than it had all season. So that was a surprising one there to me. Best one of the day, best big pick of the day, South Carolina Gamecocks. Not only do they cover that spread, not only do they cover that big number, they go to Athens, Georgia, and win 2017. Double overtime over Georgia. If you haven't seen the videos about that on this channel, there are multiple ones. Please go check them out. Tennessee, the Vols get a much-needed win at home, 20-10, over the Mississippi State Bulldogs. It's kind of a reeling program. Not playing very well this year at all. Not quite sure what's going on there. This was a disappointing one here. Vanderbilt not only fails to cover the spread against something called UNLV, they lose to them, and the final score in this one was, where can I pull it up? Why can't I pull you up? That's very odd. Let me just check out, let me just check out South Carolina's schedule here, and then I can pull up Vanderbilt. I don't know why that game is not showing. They lost 34-10 to UNLV. A 24-point loss at home. That's terrible. That is really the lowest of the low. And I like him a lot, but unfortunately, I have a feeling this will probably be Derek Mason's last year in Nashville. I mean, they're not going to stand for that. That's just not good. They're showing no improvement from year to year, and they've steadily gone backwards since James Franklin left. And this year, I mean, they're looking at maybe winning one game, and that's already been done. So bad loss there by Vanderbilt. Rutgers and Indiana. Indiana covers the number, 35-0 win over Rutgers. This is like the third time I think that Rutgers has been shut out in Big Ten play. That's rough. They got an interim coach right now, so that one is really looking bad. Maryland fails to cover the number, and Purdue wins 40-14. I don't know what to make of this team of Maryland. They are just they're very Jekyll and Hyde to me. Memphis and Temple, another incorrect pick here. Temple wins the game. Is it 30-28 was the final score in Philadelphia. They improved to 5-1. Memphis falls to 5-1. Michigan goes on the road to Illinois and fails to cover the number. They do win the game, however, by a final score of 42-25. Michigan takes care of the Fighting Illini. Texas covers this number against Oklahoma. They lose it 34-27, the Red River Showdown. Duke also covers the number at home against Georgia Tech, 41-23, just barely getting in over that 17.5-point mark. Good win there for the Blue Devils at home, rebounding after a tough loss to Pitt last week. Moving right along into some more action here, and I see a few we got wrong. Florida State and Clemson. Of course, Clemson covers that. They win that game 45-14 at home over Florida State, kind of looking like the team that we thought they'd look like all along. BYU also failing to cover the number. They lose 27-23 to South Florida. Don't know how that one happens. Here's a pick that I should have known better on this one. This was a pretty rough pick here. Cincinnati does win that game against Houston. Final score in that ball game, 38-23. I just thought Cincinnati might be due for a letdown after that big win, but it was not to pass. Alabama does cover the number against Texas A&M with a win, 47-28 on the road. Wisconsin also covers the number against Michigan State, 38-0 is the final score at home. They are playing some excellent football. Washington State at Arizona State. We looked at Arizona State to cover the number. They do. Kind of a last-minute win, 38-34 over Washington State. Texas Tech at Baylor. This one was an incorrect pick. Baylor does win that game by a final score of 33-30 in 2 overtimes. Texas Tech's playing a lot of teams tough this year. Ole Miss versus Mizzou. And Ole Miss does cover that number. They lose that game to Missouri by a final score of 38-27. So just coming in under the gun there. Arkansas covers against Kentucky, 24-20 was the final score. Kentucky, 3 touchdowns from Lynn Bowden, who played quarterback, he played running back, he played wide receiver. I think he might have even sold some tickets and some popcorn. USC and Notre Dame. Notre Dame does not cover the number there. 30-27 was the final score. They do get the win, though, against USC at home. Louisville and Wake Forest. Another one incorrect here. That was a wild game. 62-59 was the final score there. Did anyone tackle anybody is the question. Louisville getting the win over Wake Forest. I knew Wake Forest was probably a little bit overhyped, and I had them ranked up at number 19, and they'll definitely fall out of the polls after losing to the Louisville Cardinals, who have now doubled their win total from last year. Good job by Scott Satterfield and crew up there to attempt to right the ship at Louisville. I'm interested to see them getting back to being an above-average program. They got a good football history there, and I don't think it's going to take much longer to get them back where they need to be. Penn State covers the number against Iowa. They win 17-12 on the road. That was a good win by Penn State. Iowa with a staunch defense. We've seen that many times this year. They've taken a couple of close losses and wants to higher level competition over there from the Big Ten East and do it again last night. Final set of games here. Let's grab them real quick. Nebraska on the road at Minnesota. I had Minnesota covering the number there against Nebraska, and they did in a big way, 34-7. I think Nebraska has to be the most disappointing team of the season up until this point for me. I mean, I firmly expected them to be, 5-1 maybe at this point with maybe a loss to Ohio State. I thought maybe when I did a video over the summer about them that there was a chance that maybe they could beat Ohio State. Nothing of the sort. And even the wins they've had have not been impressive wins either. So they've been pretty disappointing. This is a pick that really made me mad. Florida at LSU. LSU covers the number. 42-28 win over Florida. That one really, really ticked me off. Florida had the ball inside the LSU 5-yard line twice last night. Twice, and could not punch it in the end zone there at the end to at least cover the number. Just at least cover the number. They tried some crazy trick play one time where they tossed it to Michael P. Ryan, who tries to throw a left-handed pass or something. I'm like, Florida, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Just line the ball up, smash mouth football, get it in the end zone. I'm not sure if LSU was. I don't know. That one was just that one that angered me greatly, and that's the kind of stuff that makes me wonder sometimes about the fix in college football. You never know. You just never know. Anyway, probably not. Utah versus Oregon State. I had Oregon State covering the number here. Couldn't have made a stupider pick. They lose 52-7 to Utah. Just kind of banking on them. They've been playing better lately offensively, but didn't do it against the Utes Saturday night at home. They actually got just bamboozled. Hawaii and Boise State. Boise State covers the number there. 59-37 win over Hawaii and the Rainbow Warriors in Boise, Idaho. And then the nightcap, Washington takes care of business on the road at Arizona, 51-27 win over Kevin Sumlin's team. Definitely covering the number very easily there. So let's total this up and see how there was one game that I skipped over somehow or another. Iowa State did cover the number against West Virginia. They were, 10.5-point favorites on the road at WV, and they ended up winning that ball game. The final score was, I'm not quite sure. They won it by more than 10.5, though. I do know that. So, year to date, going into week 7, we were 74, 85, and 3 against the spread. And in week 7, Carolina jackpot with the second winning week in a row. I had a feeling that it was not going to be a winning week after it started off 0-3, and I knew I'd taken some losses here, but there were some good picks in here as well. Finished up the week with a final record of 16 wins against the spread, 14 losses, and no pushes for a 53.3 winning percentage against Las Vegas. So for the year, we have 3 pushes and 99 losses to go with against 90 wins. So 90, 99, and 3 against the spread. All I need is one really good week where we knock it out of the park and hit like 70% of the picks and be almost back at about even for the year. So looking forward to that. Gosh, man, I just hated it. I could have had about 20 wins this week. There were just a few boneheaded picks here. A couple that come to mind. I really should have picked Clemson to cover against Florida State. I should have known that they were going to come out firing on all cylinders after they've been so besmirched by the national media the past couple of weeks. I don't know why I picked Houston over Cincy. I thought maybe Cincy, like I said, would let down a little bit after that big win over UCF at home a couple of weeks ago, or last week rather. But I don't know. Is beating UCF really that big of a deal now? It sounds weird to say that after they reeled off so many wins in a row, but they just lost to Pitt and really haven't been playing all that well. They're playing really backup quarterbacks. So, I don't know. Looking at some more, I could say Notre Dame, USC, because that game has been closer than many have thought. Louisville and Wake, I got that one wrong, but that was one that I just really didn't see that coming. Also, I swear I did not see Virginia not covering against Miami. That was crazy, even though I thought it was weird. That was one of those, and I talked about that. It was one of those kind of sticky lines where, why is Miami favored in this game? After that, I mean, they'd just gotten embarrassed by Virginia Tech the week before. They were down 28-0 at one point to a horrible Virginia Tech team, and they ended up coming back and tying the thing up, and then they lost there at the end. So I don't know. I probably should have went with LSU, knowing they were at home. And looking here at some other ones, maybe Colorado and Oregon, I could say. UNLV Vanderbilt was another one. Nobody saw that coming either. That's very, very disappointing for Vanderbilt. But aside from that, I mean, who looked good this week? South Carolina Gamecocks. Obviously, we look good with the win over Georgia. I'm hearing it from both ends. Georgia's terrible. They're overrated. Blah blah blah. They played awful. Blah blah blah. I mean, but then I'm getting congratulated too. So it was a combination of both. Georgia definitely did not bring their A game. I mean, they brought about a C- or D+ game. And the Gamecocks brought their A game yesterday. But I mean, that's what it takes to knock off a really, really, really good team. If you don't have the talent, you don't have the depth, you don't have the coaching that they do, you got to find an equalizer. Good job by Tennessee getting a win in conference yesterday at home. Texas and Oklahoma. Good job by Oklahoma winning that game. Good job by Clemson. Looked good against Florida State. They did what we knew that they could do all year long. Alabama keeps rolling right along. Good job by them. Penn State has an impressive win on the road against Iowa. Also was a very impressive win by Wisconsin. Totally shut down Michigan State, shut them out. I know Michigan State really is not known for playing a lot of offense, but still, when you shut down a Big Ten team, even if it is in your building, I mean, that's still very impressive. Their defense is outstanding this year at Wisconsin. Good job by Minnesota. Remain undefeated. Just totally destroyed Nebraska. Good job by LSU. Did what they had to do in the fourth quarter to pull ahead of Florida and stay there, giving the Gators their first loss on the season. And good bounce back job by Washington against Arizona. So that's that. Week number 7's in the books. I can't believe it. It seems like we were. Seems like it was August 31st, just yesterday. Look forward to more picks against the spread this coming week on the Carolina Jackpot channel. Make sure that you tune in for that. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure that you subscribe to it and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace. And I'm out. Go Gamecocks. Woo!